anymore for various reasons. And here I am. I've actually been super looking forward to it. Um, we'll see how it goes. But, and I don't know that I'm ever going to go live every single day like I used to, blah, blah, blah. But once in a while, it is fun. It is something I enjoy doing. Um, and I always go around, first thing I do, open up all the light in the house. That's just me. That's what I do to wake up. I just wanted to catch up. I haven't gone live in a minute, and I miss my peeps, and I miss sharing with y'all my life. So here we go. So I'm opening up all the curtains. Actually, the first thing I did was I went and got coffee, which, if you know, if you watch me, you understand this is coffee talk. And no, this is not sponsored by Dunkin', although shout out to Dunkin'. They have a $6 deal right now. So the first thing I did was I got myself a medium coffee and coffee, a breakfast sandwich, and hash brown for $6. You can't beat that. Because normally it's just $5 just for the when I normally get this, it's like $5. So I don't know how long this deal is running or whatever. But I woke up and I'm like, I'm going to Dunkin'. And then I looked online to see their menu because it's been a minute. And I saw that deal and I'm like, sold. There we go. So it's been a long week. I worked the last 5 days pretty much. Yeah, 5 days. 2 days were education classes. I'm trying to get certified. Um, so I don't think I've done any certification other than ACLS before, but they encourage it. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to do it before, but there's never a good time, right? Like work life balance. As a full time mom of a little one, there's never a good time for extra outside of work. Um, but I was like, I haven't done anything in a minute. I haven't done any. Okay, I haven't done any. Yeah, y'all started to find me crazy. Boring people, boring people are okay. It's more fun to be crazy. So let's admit it. Yes, I'm joking as well. I don't know if you caught that vibe. Anyway, where's I going with this? My memory is going to be terrible because I did not sleep as good this week. Just didn't get as much sleep as I normally do, but and my and then I worked 3 days in a row, and I did not realize when I signed up for the certification that's what would happen, but that's what happened. I was like, "Oh, maybe they'll call me off, like, because I'll go into overtime." They're like, "No, technically, you're not gonna go in overtime because the class was a different pay code or something." So I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So, I mean, I hardly ever get called off, let's be honest. No, I'm not stressed out. That's why I wanna come on live because I'm like, "This is the first time I can relax all week long," and I don't know. This helps me get into a cleaning mode for whatever reason, but I've been taking care of other people all week long. It is time to do self-care today, which started with the little Dunkin' Donuts, and which the Dunkin' Donuts what? Sorry, I can't see that. What's the course? Oh, like what class did I take? Uh, Med Surge. Try and get certified. I need to study more. The class was super helpful. Great class. Um, the person was super knowledgeable in the field, a lot of expertise, which I feel like makes the difference. Because a lot of times, I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I was in college, you'd have these professors, very smart, very intellectual, smarter than me, no real life experience. So, like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, what they taught and what was real world. And I realized that when I got out of college, like, oh, you think you know everything when you're 20 years old, first off. And then you think the people teaching you know everything. And then you get out in the real world and you're like, this is different than what, yeah. You've been America once is too good. It is good. Sometimes their coffee is a little too sweet, but the food is great. The coffee is good, don't get me wrong. I just haven't perfected my recipe. So I got a medium iced coffee with vanilla and cream. The only thing, it was too bitter, and this is my fault. This is not this is what I ordered. But I always try to do low carb. But if I next time I want to do like just like one pump, one one swirl, excuse me, one swirl of whatever um of like French vanilla cuz it's just too bitter and I ran out of my like or my espresso sweetener cuz you can't put regular sugar in like an iced coffee. You have to have the liquid kind. So I screwed that up, but you don't like Dunkin'? Who doesn't like Dunkin'? You don't have it in the oh, it might be like just a United States thing. But it's big here. I mean, I don't know if it's as big as Starbucks, but it's big. I used to work for Dunkin' many, many moons ago. And I also won some like top 5 random things in my life. I won a Dunkin' Donuts contest off of it was like Twitter or something. I don't even go on anymore. But somehow I legitimately won free coffee for life from Dunkin' for a year. It was the most random thing, but it did happen. Like my husband's like, "This is a scam. This is," and I was even like, "Yeah, it probably is," but it was legitimate, and I did get coffee for a year. It was crazy. Just because I replied to some like random Twitter post, thinking nothing of it. Somehow I won. Somehow. Do you have Starbucks in England or Ireland? That's also probably a United States thing. I don't know. Like, I know McDonald's is like in other countries, and I guess McDonald's that you get in other countries is different than the McDonald's here, apparently, like the menu. But I don't know about like other companies. You do? Okay. Starbucks? I like Starbucks. I pretty much like every coffee place, okay? Because I'm a coffeeholic. But um Starbucks, their coffee to me is a little because I think it's strong. It's a little bitter tasting to me sometimes. But I get Starbucks cake pods all the time. But Starbucks food is also good. It's a little more expensive than Dunkin'. Um, maybe a little bit healthier. Starbucks is generally more expensive than Dunkin', but you can customize it more. And if you don't like sweet coffee, like my husband only goes to Starbucks. I'm more of a Dunkin' girly, but to each their own. I well, actually, I really like. Dutch Brothers is probably my favorite. We don't have that in Pennsylvania. We have we have a lot of like little coffee shop chains, not like big ones. Arizona, you had more like kind of bigger ones. But a lot of the local coffee places are good around here too. I just like being able to drive through though, like get my coffee early in the morning, not have to be in my pajamas still and stuff. Oh, okay. See ya. It's yeah, like I don't have time to I gotta grab my coffee before my husband leaves if I'm getting coffee instead of making it. Anyway, I have so much cleaning to do today, let me tell you, and just like bills. And I had a migraine the last 2 weekends. The one weekend I was working. So, whatever, I was going to be busy anyway. But what sucks is being sick on your day off. So, nice to see you too. So, yes, I am super behind on like managing the house in general. So, and I have somebody coming to pick something up later. And then I have somebody asking questions about something I'm selling that I gotta. So, reselling, I'm behind, even though I haven't been listing, but just, I have stuff to do with that today too that I could not get to during the week. And then when I worked 3 days in a row, which I don't do that typically on day shift, I was like, well, maybe it won't be too busy. Oh my God. My third shift was probably the busiest I've had, like the end of the week. That's not how you want to end, right? That's how it goes, though. Like, even looking at this camera, first off, I don't like how high def this camera is. Like, ooh, okay, I don't need you guys seeing every detail, but I can tell I look tired. Mm. It was a long week, let me tell you. And I was like, oh, how am I going to get through this week? But I did. But am I going to have time to study? I don't know. Because I do need to study eventually, but this weekend, I don't know. And then my family's having something Sunday, which I might just say I can't come because I got to get myself because I go back to work Monday and Tuesday, which, yeah, I have the weekend. But man, the weekend goes fast to get done everything when I've been gone the last 5 days. Plus being sick, when I have migraines, I am down for the count for like 2, 3 days. I get nothing done. I'm in constant pain. Uh, so I didn't get anything done last weekend. I couldn't. It was such a bad migraine that I came on live the other day and kind of talked about it, but like my vision was kind of, and they say that's bad when you have vision changes with a migraine. Yeah, we were there. We were there, but it wasn't a vision aura, which I think is worse. It wasn't like that, but it was after the migraine. And I didn't get to hardly see my daughter at all this week because I was gone. But yeah, I'm glad I waited till the class was taught where I worked because I was going to do the one that was kind of like at another place, but then I would have had to got a hotel probably. And I don't know, we all as a group like went and got lunch together. It was really nice and we could just walk to although A lot of the places near my work are either out of business or not open yet for There's my cat being a PIA. Um, sorry guys. He likes butter. I gotta put the butter away. So, anyways, oh, and I got up. Petals move. Nobody wants to see that. uh, sorry, he's blocking my camera. Move, petals, move, move, honey. So, and then I got also on top of it, on top, because I got up at 5, like 40-ish every day. Even on my day off, I got up at, like, I wanted to sleep in today. It did not happen. Did not happen, but my body gets in a routine. It just like gets in a routine, and hence the Dunkin' Donuts run. I saw another influencer that is like, I'm not gonna edit. I'm not, which is kind of like, I want to say it's a lazy thing. I don't edit either because like, but they have over 1 million followers, so that brought me hope because I don't like doing that side of stuff. And I don't make money off that. So what you see, guys, is what you got. I apologize in advance if my videos are unaesthetic as, but if you want time to chat and listen to somebody talk nonstop, you've come to the right place. You've totally come to the right place. And get inspired to clean or and take care of yourself. Here you go. And no, I will not be working out today because I've been getting, I mean, Monday and Tuesday, I was kind of just sitting in a class all day, but the last 3 days, I think I've gotten in 10,000 steps easily. And um, I'm sure I'll be running around. If I'm going to be cleaning all day, running around my house, which is which is like 3-story house or whatever, I'm not going to be working out because I'm not trying to make my body get uh, overstressed. Because I will get my steps in. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I used to try and do both because I'm like, oh, I gotta get my steps in, my PCOS and trying to lose weight. Blah, blah. It's like no, and then my house is a disaster. I'm stressed out. Like I'm too like do what you gotta stay moving, but you don't have to be like doing anything crazy. I don't think in my book, especially if you need your rest, like you worked all week or whatever, rest is just as important to your health. And I don't need an injury because I'm overdoing it or whatever. Like I can't afford at my age to get injured and be out of commission. Like that becomes a legitimate thing. Like when I was younger, I used to break bones, whatever, didn't think much of it. But then when you're an adult and you're like, I gotta go to work I got mouths to feed. Yeah. Like you're like, forget that hobby, forget this. So my body can't like, when you're a little kid, like my daughter's little, you're like, you're super. You're super flexible, you're super like hyper mobile, you can do whatever. I'm like, if I try to do any of that type of gymnastic stuffs now that I used to do when I was younger, I'm liable to break a neck. Like, uh. Stay safe out there, guys, especially if you're heading into the 40 zone like me. All right, and I'm gonna try to stay in frame here. So I know that that is annoying. I don't like when I'm watching somebody and they're going in and out of the frame. Okay, so let me get to the dishes. Washing the dishes. So you can see me and we can chat. I saw a video today that was very reassuring. If it was true, I don't know if it's true or not, but they were 91 according to the video and drinking 3 Diet Cokes a day still. And they're like, I've made it this far. And I'm like, heck yeah, queen. Like, don't anybody let you take your Diet Coke from me. That gave me some relief because I feel like people are always giving me hard time or saying like the aspartame, you're gonna get the the C word if you or whatever. And I've also I know people who've had like health problems and they tell me, oh, I drank Diet Coke and I'm like, oh no, am I gonna but that was very reassuring to me because I love my just like I love my coffee, I love my Diet Coke, let me tell you. Coffee in the morning, diet soda in the afternoon. Or sometimes it's like a latte in there. But either way, I'm getting my caffeine in. As an ADHD, high functioning ADHDer, full time working mommy, I'm getting my caffeine in one way or the other. My God, I've already been on here 20 minutes. And I have so much more cleaning that I gotta do. But at least got the dishes put away. And my husband did do the litter box, I guess. At least the downstairs one. So that helped. I I don't know if he did the basement. I gotta fix the basement. I got laundry to do. All the adult things. Remember when I side story, I remember when I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts and I had this really nice regular. I can't remember her name. I'm terrible with names. But anyway, she would always come to Dunkin'. She'd always get the same order. Yes, my cats use the litter box. Of course. Of course they do. What else would they be using? So anyway, so this regular, she said, like, she would just talk or whatever, and she said, during the week you work for somebody else, and then on the weekend you never really get to rest because on the weekend you work for you. And I'm like, is that a one of the truest statements? It was something about that, and I'm like, I still think about that to this day because, man, was that a true, like, a life quote or something. Hello. Welcome in. 'Cause and even working the 5 days this week, I was like which 2 of it was classes, sure. But I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this week, I'm gonna be so tired. Yes, I used to do 3 in a row working night shift, but night shift is a different beast than day shift, okay? We all know it's a different speed. So, but I was talking to people and they're like, "Yeah, you know, some age we're like, yeah, it's gonna evolve." And when I can easily do one of them. Like I do things that a lot of times they're like, "You can't do this, I'll do it." So, like, I'm a workhorse, I know that, and but I have to be careful I don't overwork myself. I'm not gonna become like my dad. Anyway, but, 'cause there's been many time where people are like, "You can't do this at the same time," and I'm like, "Just watch me," and I do it because if I set my mind to something, I'm very, like, a determined person or something. So, anyway anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, so I was like, "How am I gonna get through?" And then I found out too after I'd signed up, like, the classes were gonna be 2 nine-hour days, and I'm like, "Oh, so they're not gonna, like, let us go early or" and people are like and they didn't not because there is just so much information and even when we got through the class, I was still like, "Man, we didn't touch on this," or so that's why I need to study. But the person was teaching nonstop. It's not his fault. It was just too much material, you know? But anyway, um, I highly recommend the class if you're starting to get service because it is similar. But to, as bad as I thought this week was gonna be, it wasn't like I thought I was gonna need an energy drink, which I don't love doing energy drinks, but sometimes I do it because they're not good for you. They're definitely I don't think good for me. They can make palpitations and they can make me anxious and stuff like that. So I don't as much as I love caffeine, I try to stay away from energy drinks. But I wasn't like too much tired than what I normally am because I normally do so much even on my days off. So and then 2 of the days I was literally just sitting on my behind, which I hardly do that unless I'm sick. So all in all, this week wasn't that bad, but am I behind? Yeah. And like cleaning the house or whatever. But overall not too tired. Doing 3 in a row though was worse than probably having to do that class for 2 days. Plus the class was a lot of like review or stuff that I had learned at some point, but I didn't necessarily see it a lot in my job. But it's like, oh yeah, I was taught that at one point in nursing school. You know what I mean? And I learned stuff in that class that can help me because I have some health issues. Nothing crazy, but I have asthma and I didn't have asthma as a child. It's something I developed later in life. So learning to manage that has been an adventure, not necessarily the funnest adventure, but I think I'm learning more and more, and that just helps me know how to manage it because I think it's going to be a chronic thing for me. Like, hopefully, it will go away, but I don't know that it will. So, that class, he was giving tips about asthma because it can be, if you go into status asthmaticus, yeah. And I know that. I know that working in healthcare, like this isn't something to play around with or whatever. But because I got diagnosed at later in life and um because I got diagnosed later in life and it is pretty severe with me sometimes. Like the biggest thing I need to get a spacer for my asthma because this is the second time I've been told you need a spacer. So I'm gonna do that. But every year I've been getting a little better at managing it, just like with my migraines, I've learned over the years, like, what to do, what not to do. So, 'cause I I feel like I was in that class for a reason to, like, take this serious because even this past year, my allergies been the best or my asthma's been the best managed probably this year, and I had to go to the doctor and get on steroids, so for short term. So, and my when it gets like that, it's like it can get pretty severe quickly. So I'm like, okay, I need to list the list. I need to do. So that's also on my to do list this week because I can do a great job at taking care of other people, but taking care of me, that's the goal. That's hard for all of us, I think. Like you can take care of other people sometimes, but taking care of yourself, that's challenging. Especially when my asthma runs in my family, like, my dad had it, and, but my dad has passed away, and he was disabled for many years, so I don't have, like, a reference range to go, like, "What did you" and even if he could tell me, I don't know if he would be able to give me advice with that, but, so but I've learned through the it would be easier if I had him as a reference point probably, but I don't know because I was even thinking that today, like, I don't remember growing up, like, seeing my dad be sick except for which is, I think, kinda weird, but except for he would get sick a lot, where he was hospitalized, but I don't remember seeing him, I feel like Daisy will probably remember me being down with cold stuff, but I don't really remember either of my parents being sick really, except for when they had to they were to the point of needing to go to the hospital. So I think that's kind of weird, but I think either I blocked that out from memory or what I really think has happened is I don't think either of my parents took good care of themselves necessarily. And although I think my mom does better now. So I think sometimes when you don't take preventative measures, um, then when you do get sick, if you don't know like what you're predispositioned to already, when you do get sick, it can wind up being like that, like a life or death type of situation. But some of it was just you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but my dad I don't care. Whatever, I am a little crazy. But my dad would also have these weird, like, freak accidents, like, happen to him even before he got it's just, like, so weird. Even before he got his massive stroke and wound up disabled, he always, growing up, would be in, like, a car accident. He would get, like, hepatitis from a restaurant and wind up in, ICU. He got bit by a brown recluse spider, like, just, like, crazy freak things that, like, they would always seem to happen to my dad. So I was kind of used to almost going through that trauma with my dad growing up of like, oh, is he gonna live or die? And then that stroke, the worst thing happened, the stroke. And then even with that, it was like every year, like, I don't know. I'm just like realizing that, we talk about grief on this channel. Well, here you go, because so I've had to like lose my dad so many times before he actually did. And maybe that's some of what helped me almost process it because, like, I don't know. I wasn't, it was just like, okay, when it finally happened, it was just like, all right, we're not going to be in this limbo state anymore or something that I felt like I was with him a lot of my life. This is some a discussion to cheer you guys up in the morning. No, no, but I don't know. And like, I don't know if anybody can even relate to that, but I had such, I've had such a complicated relationship with that. Like, I think I was like traumatized with him health wise for like so long. I don't even know how to explain it. And like, and it wasn't necessarily always his fault. It was just like the way things happened or whatever. But take care of yourself, and especially if you have kids, because like, I don't think you realize sometimes how much that can affect your children, like you being sick. And obviously you can't always help that if you have chronic illness, if you have an accident happen or whatever. But yeah, like, so yes, I will continue to try my best and sharing with you guys. Wow, I've been on here almost 40 minutes about how I try to take care of myself. And people say to me, well, does it really matter at the end of the day? You're going to die how you're going to die. Well, yes, I do think some things you can't necessarily change. But if I can get an extra 5 years, heck yeah, I want an extra years for my child, for my kid, not even for you. But yes, I want to live 5 more years if I can. But just for your loved ones, because that's who's really gonna wind up, hurt in the end or whatever if you don't take care of you. Um, so yeah, doing the stuff I do, the meal prepping, it's all annoying, it's all time consuming. It can be a little more expensive sometimes, sometimes not, with the price of food. And is it easier? Heck no. But especially too, I already know I have the stacks against me in a way with the PCOS, the asthma, the this. I have like, a couple chronic autoimmune things going on here. But so that's all the more reason why I have to do this. And you should be doing it too if you have chronic illness. To get off my soapbox. Okay, let me go buy a spacer for my asthma and do not just let me walk the talk or whatever that phrase is. All right. Well, anyway, if you guys enjoyed this live, don't forget to subscribe. Nobody's in here, but I will save this live because I feel like that was important to say. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend if I don't see you.